there's a lot of doubts and being thrown, and a lot of things being thrown at whether or not, at the Bible or Christianity, whether or not it's true, whether or not the Bible is true, whether or not, there was a Jesus, was there a historical Jesus, did Jesus actually exist, so on and so forth. And with all of those doubts and questions, that's why we're addressing this. That's people that say, well, I believe in God. Well, my question to you is, do you know why you believe in God? My question to you is, do you know why you believe that Jesus is who he says he is? Can you articulate that to somebody? Can you share that with somebody? If somebody came up to you and says, why do you believe what you believe? Are you able to do that? Or are you going to throw just a few verses that you've heard around in your life at them and expect that to be enough? And so it's important that we're going to get into that. A life. Because if he was a life, then there could be another life. But he said, I am, with the definite article, the. He said, I am the life. That means he just made the claim that there's no life outside of him. What does it mean when Jesus claims to be the Son of God? Well, to a Jew, it's very different than you and I. To you and I, we think like someone else comes and does this. That's not what the Jew thinks. The Jew thinks that Jesus, when he says, I am the Son of God, that Jesus is saying, I am God in flesh. That is why when you go back and read the scriptures, they picked up stones to kill him, because he was claiming to be God in flesh. Now, let's keep going. Here's another one. Here's another claim that Muhammad made. He claimed that Jesus did not die. Read the Quran. I'm going to give you a quote from it here in a minute. Here's another thing. He said he claimed that it was Ishmael that Abraham took for sacrifice. So what are we doing? We're taking the claims, and we're going to go ahead and match it with the evidence that's clearly Jesus is saying he is the Son of God. He is going to die. So already we have a clash. But now, to give a better understanding of instead of just saying, well, he said, she said, it's more about, is there any significance to this death in the first place? Or is it just a battle of words? Well, let's look a little deeper in Matthew 20, verses 26 through 28. This is interesting. It says, but it shall not be so among you, but whosoever will be great among you, let him be your minister or servant. And whosoever will be chief among you, let him be your servant. Even as the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, to give his life a ransom for many. So already we're not just seeing that there are contradictory statements being made. We got contradictory messages being sent and meaning behind certain things. All right? So he says that's one of the reasons. Now, I'm going to read to you from the Quran, Surah 4. Don't try to find it in your Bible. It's not in there. History. Tacitus says, let me just say this. If you do any research on Tacitus, Tacitus hated Christians. Tacitus hated the Jews. And he writes, these are not people that are kind to Christianity. He writes, Christus, or the Christ, was executed at the hands of the procurator Pontius Pilate. The evidence, the historical evidence outside of the Bible, not by people that believed in Jesus, that were not Christians. We're having evidence showing that there was this man Christ that lived. There was this man Christ that was crucified. And then we have the Quran that says Jesus did not die or was not crucified, was not killed. Addressing the fact that, number one, people in this day and age keep saying it's impossible to know what is true or that there's something that is true. Well, if that's the case, then is anything true at all? Is there anything that is true? Is truth even possible? I'm simply saying that when we're trying to say, well, which religion is right, well, at least when it comes to Christianity versus Islam, we have a huge discrepancy with Islam because Islam is making some serious statements that nobody else agrees with. Jewish history doesn't agree with it. Roman history doesn't agree with it. Biblical history doesn't agree with it. But somehow you're just supposed to take it, even though we got evidence, and especially written by people who weren't even Christians and didn't believe in Christianity. Shut him up for a fool. You can spit at him and kill him as a demon, or you can fall at his feet and call him Lord and God. But let us not come with any patronizing nonsense about his being a great human teacher. He has not left that open to us. He did not intend to. What is that basically saying? It's saying here that we've been taking this whole Jesus thing, this whole religion thing, so I think casual sometimes, right? From the perspective of Christianity and from those that consider themselves secular or non-religious. And so because nobody ever addresses it and it all kind of floats in the air, it all becomes about a touchy-feely thing. Now, let me just say this. There's nothing like experiencing the presence of God, period. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not pushing that out. But I am saying this, is that because we've not nailed it to the ground and said, okay, what are the facts? What is the evidence? Why do we believe what we say we believe? And then you have this kind of, that's why some people can watch the Discovery Channel, the History Channel, and go, oh my goodness, they must be right. There is no Bible. The Bible is just a joke, and Jesus, just a bunch of nonsense. Like somehow these guys who clearly are anti-Christian and anti-God and anti-Bible and all that in the first place, that somehow they're not going to paint it with a particular brush. Well, some people can say, well, Simeon, aren't you painting it with a particular brush? Oh, okay, you may have a point there. But Tacitus didn't have a brush and paint. And the Talmud doesn't have a brush. Matter of fact, these are Jews that refused to believe in Jesus. They were happy that he was killed. Okay, so I think it's very important for us to understand. So basically what it's saying is this. Jesus, it's not cute. It's not just religion. When Jesus says, I'm God, that's not cute. That's not like little fuzzy, warm, fuzzy stuff. That's like big time for a man to claim to be God. Do you know how many other men of respected world religions ever claim to be the one and only God? Zero. Now there are religions that believe in many gods, polytheistic religions. They believe there's millions of gods. But Muhammad never made that claim. Mary, the mother of Jesus, never claimed to be divine. I can go through the list of all the religious figures. Joseph Smith never claimed to be God. But this one guy, unique above all the rest, says, oh, by the way, I'm God. Relativism, which is everything is relative. You ever heard that before? Hey, that's true for you, but not for me. Or, hey, that may be good for you, but not for me. Hey, that's fine. You believe what you believe, and I'll believe what I believe. Let me just say this. Every human being has the right to believe what they want to believe. That doesn't mean that everything that they believe is right. The point is that truth is not relative. Truth is truth whether you believe it or not. Now, you have the right to believe something that's wrong, but it doesn't mean you're right simply because you believe it. If something is true, it's true for everybody. I've said this before, gravity. If we're all on the top of this building tonight, and APOC says, I don't believe in gravity, and all of us are looking at him and said, and just like he's an idiot, right? And he goes, I don't believe in gravity. And he says it 50 times, because if he gets himself pumped up enough, he feels if he jumps off the top of this building, he will, just like float. And of course he jumps, and we all just, watch him descend. You don't walk downtown Houston and see somebody just lifting off the ground and floating up into the sky. And little girl, pulls her mom's dress and says, Mommy, look at that. And she, oh no, honey, that's okay. That's just another one that doesn't believe in gravity. She's just... That doesn't happen. That doesn't happen. Let me just say, the reason I brought this whole thing up is because we've got to establish whether or not truth can be known, right? Because if you don't believe there is such a thing as truth, and if you don't believe truth can be known, then this claim here at the very beginning, when Jesus says, I am the life, has no meaning. You say, well, it does have a meaning. It has a meaning to you. Oh, wait a minute. That would mean that it's possible that he's a liar. And then it also means it's possible that if you believe a lie, you can make a lie true. But we all know that's not true. Because if something's a lie, it's not true in the first place. Now, if your brain's hurting, it's okay. What can we then surmise about the document that we're calling divinely inspired? We would have to say that it's not. Now, I know that in the age that we live in, how dare you say that something is not true or wrong? I didn't say I didn't say well, you know, if you believe it, that, you know, I mean, you have a right to believe it. I didn't say you can't believe it. If you want to believe it, you can believe it. I'm simply saying the evidence stands against the truth of the text.